Tranmere's trip to Mansfield Town was never going to be easy, but Rovers certainly made the occasion far more complex than it needed to be. On an afternoon in which the 3-0 scoreline was not the greatest cause for concern, ill discipline took center stage for criticism. With 3 players on yellow cards and 1 dismissed by halftime, this truly was a performance whereby Rovers, themselves, single-handedly dented any hopes of obtaining an unlikely triumph. Tranmere manager Micky Mellon, image, Jan Kruger, Getty Images, 2 needless challenges, each meriting a yellow card, within the space of 4 minutes saw Ollie Banks walk the plank. Banks, a player who often is pulling the strings in midfield, left his teammates to pick up the pieces of his careless error. Given Mansfield's undoubted quality, this contest was headed in only one direction after the interval. Fully aware of how damaging losing a player of Banks' caliber so early on in proceedings was, Micky Mellon could only hold his hands up and admit the adverse implications this ended up having on the side. Indeed, Banks' decision to commit to a late challenge having only just been booked moments before puzzled the Whites manager. "I think the sending off has changed the game. It has absolutely changed the way the game was going to get played," said Mellon. "We shot ourselves in the foot with the moment in the game when we go down to 10 men, and it's always going to be difficult against a side that's riding high like Mansfield to get any kind of footway in the game after that. I think he shouldn't go for the challenge. If you're going to go for a challenge, you have to get the ball," he continued. The second tackle, if you're already on a yellow, you don't go for another tackle like that. Obviously, all their players give the referee a decision to make, and let's be fair, it was only going to go one way. I wasn't it. It's difficult because was there really a bad tackle apart from the Banks one? I've put my hands up and said, you can't go for that. You look at the stats in that game and you'll think Tranmere have come here and it's been a kicking fest. Has it really been that? It just beggars belief. It really does. Were we just kicking Mansfield all over the place? No. Micky Mellon on why there's still more to come from Tranmere despite starring in the face of adversity. Mellon believes his players gave all they had, though came unstuck courtesy of conceding what he described as cheap goals. And he had every reason to feel disappointed about the manner in which Rovers were breached. Mansfield were quickest to react in and around the Tranmere box, as they punished statuesque defending to score their second and third goals of the match. It goes without saying, we're gutted with the result. We made it very difficult for ourselves with the sending off, and it was always going to be a tough afternoon. But in terms of work rate, the boys kept fighting. There's no way you could fault them for that. But, again, it's been a tough afternoon with a lot of things decided by a referee, which decided the way the game was going to be played," he said. "They absolutely ran themselves into the ground. They kept fighting, fighting, fighting. We know that we get that from them. We were disappointed with the second goal. It has come off the keeper and none of us have followed it in, and the same with the third. You've got to follow that in, to try and keep yourself in the game. When that starts to happen, you know that the game is drifting away from you. We gave away 2 cheap goals that have come off the goalkeeper. We didn't defend the area in front of the keeper and we didn't react as good as Mansfield did. We would have to say that was disappointing." Micky Mellon, manager of Tranmere Rovers, looks on prior to the FA Cup third-round match between Tranmere Rovers and Tottenham Hotspur at Prenton Park. Image, Getty Images. There were some positives to draw despite defeat, however, as the Rovers boss claimed his side fully remain in the race for the playoffs. "If you hit any kind of a run, you'll be back in it," he said on the battle for promotion. "We know that after watching today, we definitely have the spirit and the character to be able to do that, so we will keep fighting, keep battling away and keep improving." Meanwhile, Ben Pringle made his debut for the club, coming on as a 65-minute substitute. His performance pleased Mellon, who is already thinking about how to fit the Preston North End loanee into his plans. It was difficult to start him today because he's only known us for a couple of training sessions, and Thursday and Friday are always kind of low-key training sessions. But he will be a good player for us. You've seen the qualities he brings when we came on, so we'll find a way of getting the best out of him. Micky Mellon explains Tranmere's change in formation.